Well-Tended Life. I'm your host, Carrie Wilt, a speaker, writer, and heart cultivator who is on a mission to help you grow through any season. I'm here today with my special guest, Randi Hamlyn, who has graciously agreed to be a part of the series on joy, goodness, and growth that is planted all around us. This series was actually inspired by the words of my great-great-grandmother in her famous book, The Secret Garden, when she wrote, Mistress Mary always felt that however many years she lived, she should never forget that first morning when her garden began to grow. And I think as we're going through life, we always think that we're not going to forget, that we're always going to remember those little bits of joy, the little bits of growth. But the truth is, if we don't stop down and really recognize them, we will forget. And this quote inspired a morning practice for me in my journal time where I sit down every day and I reflect on the day before. And I list just one small thing that brought me joy, one small bit of goodness that I'm grateful for, and one small bit of growth that I saw from the day before. And it's really been a great way to start my day and recognize the joy around me. But I also realize that this is not easy for everyone. Most people are running about their daily lives. They are covered up in storms, and they're not in a practice of looking for these things. So what I've done is I've invited friends and new friends and old friends from across the country to share their joy, goodness, and growth with you in hopes that maybe you might start to recognize it in your own life. So let's dig in. Welcome, Randi. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is fun. Way fun.
Yes.
I love what you're doing. It's wonderful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ditto, ditto, which is why I have you here. So why don't you take a minute and introduce yourself, tell everybody who is Randi Hamlyn and what is she up to?
Okay. So first and foremost, I am a wife and a mama and a Jesus lover. And on the side, I have a business, a leather business that I love so much. And, but most importantly, just a wife and a mom, just trying to navigate this world and do it as well as possible, just like everybody else.
Yeah, I would also, I would label you as a maker and a creator and an encourager, and I think you probably do all of those as a mama as well.
I try.
But there's something in you that is always making something cool and awesome. I'm assuming, did you make the earrings you have on that you have on right now?
No, but my dear sweet girlfriend, Jalen, is a macrame artist here in Corpus Christi, and she made them. I wore these for you, by the way.
I love a good earring girl.
I know.
I love it. Well, so talk to me a little bit about the season that you're currently in. Right now we're recording this and it's almost July. Literally tomorrow is July 1st.
Yeah. Last day of June.
Recording this. Yes. So tell me what's going on in Randi's world right now.
Okay. So I'm going to go small picture and then big picture.
Great.
Okay. So small picture is I'm home with my kids. Business is good. It always slows down in the summer just because people are doing their thing with their families as they should be, but it's still good. It's steady. The kids and I go to the beach on occasion. You can tell my tacky tan line here. And my husband's working and we enjoy barbecuing. We have our neighbors over, just good things. My in-laws live next door and we trade days cooking and just normal life things. Big picture, over this past year, really since January, God has been showing me that this is his train and he's a conductor and I just need to buckle up and be quiet and do my thing. So it has been one of the most beautiful years of my life, aside from having my children, because God just, I don't know, he just opened my ears and my eyes back in January. In January, I always sit down, write my yearly goals, have my dream projections and just strive towards that. And I pray about it. And when it comes, I write it down. It never came. And I was like, so what does that mean? And I would try to start a little bit and that, I don't know. Anyway, so it's been like that all year. And do you want to talk about what just happened with camp right in this
Yeah,
section?
sure.
Okay.
Sure, wherever you want.
So about that time in January, I get an email from a camp in Colorado. I had applied for the art director position, and it was a dream summer gig. Just my kids were going to go, and it was up in Estes Park, just gorgeous, gorgeous. So I got the job, and I was like, oh, snap. I got that job. That's weird. Okay, let's figure out how I'm going to do this and take my business and take my kids and not see my husband for 2.5 months. And anyway, got it all done. Everything's ready to roll. We're literally in the car driving. Day 2, if you have not driven through Texas ever, from the bottom part to the top part, bless you.
Yes.
somewhere just past San Antonio, you think, why do I live where I live? Like, why would I be so far south? This is terrible. So anyway, we're driving, we're on day 2, we're just outside of Abilene, and camp calls and says it's canceled. Y'all.
Whoa.
It was my car and my husband's car. So 2 of us driving. And I was really feeling like real ugly inside. I'll be honest. Like I was feeling,
yes. Like you just got the rug pulled out of you, out from underneath.
Yes. And like, I'm not a huge cusser, and I apologized to the girl that had called me after the fact, but like my literal reaction was, you've got to be shitting me.
Right?
Which I think is a really Texan thing to say, because she was so
I think
bewildered.
so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Excuse me? I was like, oh man, I'm really sorry, but like, what? Anyway, and so we back up a little bit from the beginning of this whole little adventure. From the beginning in January, I started praying because I was feeling nervous about it. This was before COVID, all that. And I was praying, God, if it's your will, let this happen. Like, don't let it be, because I don't let it be me, because I'm going to get up there and it's going to be a mess if it's all me. So if it's your will, let it happen. So I'm in the car and I'm sweating. I'm feeling all the feels. I had to call my husband and tell him, and I had to deal with that. And within like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I swear to y'all, like God just popped into my mind and he said, do you remember what you've been praying? And I was like, mm-hmm. And from that moment on, I had complete peace about it. And it's just another reminder of this isn't my show. This is his show. And just have to be gracious and go with it. And so here we are. That's what I'm doing this summer. We're just floating around at the moment.
I love it. Well, and I think you're not the only one who has experienced this same thing. I mean, yes. You were kind of in a different position before because you already homeschooled your kids. You already worked from home. You didn't have any of those experiences that a lot of our listeners have had. So you kind of had a delayed kind of middle of the road. Wait, something's different. It's interesting. You're also not the first person I've talked to that has had this same feeling coming into this year.
Really?
Man, I kind of feel, I'm not feeling like there's this big thing that I'm supposed to do this year. Like almost there was like an anticipation of this almost like season of rest, of sit back, pull back, no goal has to be sitting out there.
Yeah. For me, it has really felt more like how you do with your kids when you're talking with one and the other one's going, mom, 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 and you kind of put your arm out. That is how it has felt to me. Like, not that I'm closed off to God by any stretch, but kind of like I'll get with you and I get with you. You just hang tight. That is how it's felt that way for almost 7 months now. And I'm A-okay with it. With it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that feel as a doer? Because I know you, Randi, you're a doer.
Yeah.
What does that feel like, and how are you dealing with that sit and be still? Do you have like things that are helping to keep you a little bit busy yet still, or talk to me about that?
Okay. So I like to have plans. I like plans. I don't mean plans like Let's get up at 7:30 every morning. And by 8, we're going to do that. Like, no, broad stroke plans. But I like to have a goal. And so to speak to what you're saying about me being a doer and like, how do I feel about that? So this is something that has been something that I have been dealing with for, gosh, probably since I moved to South Texas, maybe 15 years ago, because I've got these dreams and I've got things I want to do and all the things, and timing has to be right. And then you get married, then you have kids and all the stuff. What has really impacted how I process the weight, process the uncertainty is gratitude. Big gratitude for the smallest things, for the silliest things that people would say or do, or for example, I don't have a green thumb at all.
Well, you have green, but you have green behind you.
And those are Evan's.
Oh, okay. How old is Evan?
10. She's 10, and she's amazing.
Good girl.
She gets that from her Aunt Lisa and her grandma.
Okay.
But
no green thumb for you.
No. So I decided, you know what? Like, I keep trying to have this really pretty garden in my yard, and everything dies. And Sean's like, please stop buying things. And I was at the Wild Seed Farm in Fredericksburg, like 3 or 4 years ago. And I saw this big packet of wildflower seeds. And I thought, you know what? I could do this. I'm a wildflower. Like, hello, wildflowers. Yes. Girl, I cultivated my garden. I dug it all up. I threw all the seeds in there and they started to come up. And I was like, what? I'm growing things. It was 50% stickers.
No. Like sticker burrs?
Sticker burrs.
Wait, and for those who are not listening in Texas, you may not know what a sticker burr is, but it's like if you step on a sticker burr, it's like walking over sharp Legos, but worse because they stick in you and stick to you, and it's horrible.
Yeah. So I plant all these stickers and I mean, the other half of it was, I think they were Indian blankets or Indian paintbrushes. I don't know. But I was super proud of the actual flowers that grew. And every time my husband would be like, I can't believe you planted stickers. I'm like, look at these flowers, though. They're amazing.
Yes.
And so so I have all this gratitude for the flowers. And my husband's really irritated. So they get really heavy, right? The heads get heavy. And they do this over the border of the garden. Mm-hmm. And then they see it because I don't know that's what they do, right? And this spring, you know, I wasn't going to plant any flowers because we're going to Colorado, right? Well, God had other plans. And all of these flowers start coming up in my grass outside of the boundary. So Sean was really irritated. And guess what? Life lesson. Evan and I, we moved the boundary around the flowers.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just made my garden bigger. Life lesson right there, Carrie.
Easy peasy.
So I still have stickers, but I also have flowers. So talk to me about your gratitude practice. Is that just walking around and noticing and thinking in your head, oh, I'm so grateful for that? Or do you have a way that you are looking at that? I don't know if it's like a practice so much, but I have opened my heart and my mind to allow myself to just be tickled by things, by the littlest things. That's what it is. It's not like an intentional thing where I'm like, okay, today I'm going to be thankful for blah. It's like I'm choosing to look at the flowers in that garden and not the stickers.
Not the sticker burrs.
And it tickles me. And even when I see
what a
stickers,
lesson.
It tickles me. You know, it's like, I planted those stickers. They're terrible, but I planted them and they grew away. This is awesome.
Yes. You grew things, Randy. That is so funny. Yeah, I think, one of the things I think so many people are so in their lives, they're really purposeful about planting so many things that they don't leave room for those wildflowers. the ones
Yes.
that flow in the direction
Mm-hmm.
and plant and seed themselves. And usually those are the best gifts.
Yes.
You know, it is,
Yes.
it's not always the things that we think we want. It's that
Mm-hmm.
random wildflower that you're like, oh, no, I didn't plant that there, but man, it sure is pretty. And I'm so glad
Yes.
it's here.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So are there things in your business that have kind of been like that as well? Things that along the way as you're, you know, developing and creating, you know, those random mistakes maybe that
Mm-hmm.
turned into a product or a random, you know, I don't know, craft project with your kid?
Yes. I feel like my whole business is the product of random, like, I want this for myself, so I'm just going to make it. Or when I was doing the indigo dyeing, it was just a craft, and then it was a thing. And I am always surprised that I can create something and people want to buy it. And that is every single order that comes through, it like dings on my phone and I go, oh, somebody bought something. And at this point I should just be over it, but I'm not. I'm so tickled by it that somebody looked at my craft and was like, yeah, I want to spend money on that and have that in my life. And then a lot of times my customers become friends. Mm-hmm. I can make something and know that they will like it even before I put it on the website. A lot of times I will pray over a project that's about to go out and just say, like, I hope this blesses them. I hope that their great granddaughter finds it in the bottom of a closet in 70 years and just adores it. Like, I hope this is a blessing to people and not just something that's going to end up in a landfill, you know?
Yes. Oh,
so
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Friends, I know you're loving my interview with Randi, but I wanted to break in and tell you about her heritage leather goods business, Indigo Lane and Company. At Indigo Lane, it's more than just leather. Yes, she makes yummy, stylish, fun leather totes, clutches, zipper pouches, and more. But Indigo Lane is an expression of all the places we have been and the roads we have yet to travel. And they create leather goods that will last a lifetime or two. Indigo Lane is truly a lifestyle. It's about doing what's best for you, your family, community, and leaving a lasting legacy that plants deep roots while allowing room for an open, wide future. Randi makes these small batch, thoughtfully crafted leather goods that blend traditional techniques with a modern aesthetic out of her home, and she describes the scene like this. Our studio is the center of life around here. Much like a kitchen table, everyone always ends up around the cutting table. This is the place where bags are made, math is taught, lunch is had, and many heartfelt chats reside. The days are long, but oh so rich. Creating bags is the primary focus of the studio. Just know, though, that a lot of life happens within its walls. That is the joy of a small, family-owned business. And we are privileged to make a life doing what we love. We aren't just creating great bags around here, we're creating a life we love. Friends, I want to encourage you to support this mama and maker, Randi, by ordering something beautiful from her website, indigolane.com. That's INDIGO Lane, LAINE.com. Hey, and while you're in the supportive mood, can you do me a favor too? Will you take a minute today and hop on over to Apple Podcast and leave a kind and thoughtful review for The Well-Tended Life? You see, this is how people find us, and every positive review helps to unlock the door for someone else to get in on this life-tending magic. Thank you ahead of time for that, and I appreciate your support. Now, enough of all of this, and let's get back to the interview with my friend Randi and hear what she has to say about joy.
Okay, well, so we kind of completely skipped over joy and went right to goodness, things that you're grateful for. So clearly your gratitude practice is something that's super important to you and is carrying you through this season. Talk to me about things that are bringing you joy. I mean, clearly the flowers are probably one of those. But you said something earlier, and for me, these are the things that I put in the joy category. And it's those things that just like tickle me out of nowhere. Like, just like make me smile, give me, butterflies in my
Mhm.
tummy, and sometimes it can be as random as like, I'll sit in bed if I've had a hard day and I'll watch America's Funniest Home Videos,
Yes.
and sob hysterically. And my husband thinks I am the complete, like, a crazy nut, but like nothing brings me more joy than people like running into glass windows and stuff.
Yes.
I'm sick. I know it. I'm certain there's probably something wrong with me, but I know they're okay. They wouldn't have put it on there if somebody really got hurt. But so what are those things that are tickling you pink right now?
Okay. So what brings me joy and like tears to my eyes and makes me well up is America's Got Talent. Girl.
Yes.
And like, I'll look over at Sean to see how he's taking it all in, and he'll be all choked up. I mean, he's not crying, but you can tell, like, I can tell he's like, oh, like when some little kid goes out there and you think, oh, bless it. Like, and then they just open their mouth and you're like, oh, I cry. I think it's amazing. But really what brings me joy is like watching my girlfriends or people that are just acquaintances step into their life, and like inside I am rooting like a crazy person, like, oh, yes, go. It's been fun to watch you. It has been so fun to watch Lisa. It's just all of our ladies that we know. I mean, the painters, the speakers,
all of them.
I mean, like, I want to freaking high five all of y'all every day, like joy.
And don't you think it's infectious?
Yes.
Because I know when I'm watching you and I see you doing something, I'm like, oh, yes. And then it inspires me to take another step forward, out into the light and, to do something that may be scary, which I'm assuming that's probably why you love, America's Got Talent, because that's what those people are doing too, right?
Yes.
They're all doing that thing that is like lighting a fire inside of them and sharing it with the world, which to most people that's probably one of the scariest things you could ever think about. So we get to have like an inside view and root people on from the side.
Right. Well, and I felt the same way about my kids. I am not a sports person. We don't watch sports in our house. Like, we're just, I don't know, it's just not our thing. But my kids love sports. So like, I will get on YouTube and learn how to do the things. You should have seen me trying to learn how to play kickball on YouTube. The kickballs, there's like leagues of it down here. And I had no idea. So I had to figure all that out, and we did. And same thing with softball and basketball, all the things. But when my kids get out there and they do well, I'm the idiot in the stands. I'm like, ooh. Like, even if they didn't even do anything major, I'm like gripping Sean's like, look at them, they're amazing. He's just like, whoa. But it brings me joy to see people just throw off that, what is that cloud around them that's just keeps them from
fear, negativity, and anything. Let me ask you this: did you have somebody like that in your life growing up?
That was like an encourager,
or was this something that you were looking for?
Well, so my mom, she's so smart and so pretty and charismatic and talented and all the things, but she had it in her mind forever that she just wasn't good enough to try. She wasn't good enough to have a place at the table. And I can vividly remember Carrie being like 8, 9, 10 and going, Mom, just do it. Those people don't care, or whatever it is. And so I think that's why that is a part of me. But what's really cool is she's 5 now, 63, and she's doing it.
Yay.
She's confident. And I mean, she has her days like we all do, but she's stepping into her life with clear eyes and just a happy heart. And here I am. And gosh, that does bring me joy, a lot of joy.
And I think that's so important for so many people to hear, because I think even people our age think that maybe they're too old to step into something, even my mother's age. I mean, there are people out there that think, I've missed the boat, and that's so not true.
It's not true.
There is no time like today to start stepping into that thing that builds a fire in you. And
let's all just recognize that it doesn't have to be perfect right off the bat. It doesn't have to be perfect for a long time.
No. And actually it never has to be perfect.
Yes.
It just has to be presented, and you have to step forward one step at a time, and each step teaches us how to make a better step the next time. And, even though because we're going to fall back, we're going to screw up.
Yes.
It's just,
and I think it's important, something that I feel like we all have pressure, anybody who is trying to step out and do something. The pressure there is, I've got to have it all figured out. And not only do I have to have it all figured out, but I got to have my plan from here until I die. And this is where I'm staking my claim. And this is my look. This is my vision. And I'm just here to tell you, like, I've tried that. And like I said in the beginning, God's like, this is my train. And I've been humbled time and time and time again. And I'm just like, I'm going to wake up today and do what's in front of me.
So I'm a planner also. And I also like to, it's funny because I write like a 2-year-old, but when I'm like creating a plan, like I need it to look pretty, or I want it to be purposeful and this whole thing. And I was sitting actually at a table, and I was making my list of all of these things that I needed to do in order to finish my book. And it was like little flower check boxes, and each color had a different line.
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole thing. And my husband was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm organizing to get ready to do the thing." And he goes, "Okay, but you're wasting all of your time. Just go." That's what he said. He was like, "Just go do the thing."
Yes.
And he was like, "You're spending all your time creating these pretty check things that you could have used these 2 hours to actually make some progress on this." And I remember just being like, but, and then I was like, oh, he's right. So I will tell you, I have not made a pretty checklist since then. I'll jot things down and not, I'm not totally going in blind, but, I think a lot of us get caught up in that preparation piece. And I think it's a distraction, right? It's a
total distraction. Distraction. Just get with it. Find you a friend that'll be honest with you, but it will encourage you.
Yes.
And do the thing. You don't have to have it all planned out. And you've seen my career for years now.
Yes.
How many times have I pivoted this way and then gone this way? And it seems crazy. And I've actually been told, like, you need to focus on something. And I'm like, I'm focusing on just my life. Like, this is where I'm at right now. It's, and I think that's okay. We're not corporations.
No, we are not. Thank you, Lord, we're not corporations.
Yeah. I don't need to have, nobody needs to have this thing.
No. Well, and I think if we've learned anything in the last few months of this time of high adventure, it is that the art of the pivot is vital. Art of being able to change your direction, to focus on something different, you have to be able to do that, and also to hold some of those plans a little bit more loosely. I think if I've learned anything in this whole thing, and I feel like I do that pretty well anyways, because I'm also the one that gets in the way of God all the time. I'm like running ahead. I'm like, it's like, no, but I got this. And I find that the more I hold tight to it, the more he grabs it out of my head. So if I do it loosely, it's much better for me. But
So I don't know about you, but with my business from the beginning, which I didn't recognize this in the beginning, but I do now, God has used my business as a vehicle to love people well. Mm-hmm. He's used it as a vehicle for me to bring people into my home, whether I'm teaching a class or I'm teaching their kids a class, or I'm at Round Top or Dallas Market or whatever. I mean, my career has never blown up, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I have met some incredible people that are just a part of me now, and just to be a part and to love people well and have them love me well. And it has been it's made for a beautiful life these past 10 years.
Yes. So as you know, my husband and I own a restaurant, and we always say like that we're not rich in dollars, we're rich in relationships.
Yes.
The restaurant business is not, if you want to go make millions of dollars, don't get in the restaurant business. It's a hard business to be in.
Yes.
But the relationships and the doors that get opened are really, that's the treasure.
It is.
In all of it. It's that one-on-one. And so many times, especially if someone is, new and trying to start a business, or, trying to put themselves out there on social media, they're thinking they need all of these numbers, but God, if you got to influence or affect or be a positive something on one person each day, like
yes.
the impact on that is, crazy.
Yes.
We take all those COVID, simulators of, how you can affect people, and, imagine if you spread joy, and how many people exponentially that affects. It's
okay.
awesome.
I have a challenge for you, a joy challenge, and maybe for your listeners.
Let's
okay.
do it.
So something that I started doing years ago, and I'm not as consistent with it as I used to be, but I'm going to start back.
Okay.
At least once a week, when I wake up in the morning, within 20 minutes, I have my phone in my hand. I'm checking emails, whatever.
Yeah.
Text 5 people and wish them the very best day. That's all you got to do. Text them and say, have the very best day ever. And
I love that.
I started doing that years ago. And even to people that I didn't really know that well, because I'm not from here. And it was very hard. It took a long time to make friends here. And so I would even just send it to people that I thought, well, she might think I'm crazy. She might be right, but I'm going to send it anyway.
Yes.
And, I don't know what fruit has come from that, but I like to be able to just acknowledge, we're all in busy seasons. Some people are dealing with some major stuff, and just to get a text from somebody that says, have the best day. To realize that you're thought about.
Yes.
It's a big deal. So 5 people at least once a week. Text
I love
them.
it.
One
I
sentence.
love it. I'm in. We're going to challenge everybody to do that. You guys at home, you make that happen, because gosh, just do it. Yeah. Don't worry about if they think you're crazy, because you probably are, like she said. We're all just a little bit crazy.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's not hard. I had to learn was when you're going to have people over, or in your home or in your workspace, or for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be a grand thing.
No. It's such a simple thing, and it's something that we can do, especially if somebody's not, comfortable leaving their house still, or if their area is still on lockdown. This is a way. Step away from your Netflix, everybody. Step away.
Yes. Actually, you don't have to step away from it. You can
text them while you're doing
it.
it. Yes, that's a very good point. Very good point.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, so we're gonna skip back over goodness that we're grateful for, because we already really did that. Unless you have something else that you wanted to talk about there. No.
I'm just grateful in my season of life. I'm happy. I'm healthy. My kids are doing good. My friends are wonderful. That's good. That's what I've got.
Awesome. Okay, so talk to me about growth. So I started doing this growth spotting a few years ago because, as you know, building a business, having a relationship, growing anything takes time, and it takes all these tiny little steps and these little things that eventually, my friend Isa Gapi, she says, little plus a little equals a lot. But so many times we miss those little things, and we don't see it until it kind of all adds up all at once. And what keeps me going is being able to see some of those and recognize some of those small little steps and life lessons along the way. So that's kind of what I did. So are you recognizing any of those kind of things right now in your own life?
I'm going to say yes. So I see it in my kids. They're not little anymore. Mm-hmm. And when you just, as a parent, you try to really instill the goodness, and you don't know if it's going to stick or how all that's going to shake out. And I've really just noticed in little moments lately. I'm like, they're just good people. And that,
they are good people.
That's a big one for me. Just growing a little bit older myself, close to 40 now. The stuff that used to bug me doesn't bug me anymore. That's big for me, because stuff used to really bug me, and it doesn't anymore. And not that I don't care, but it just doesn't affect me like it did. As far as my business goes, there are seasons where it's really slow, and I think, well, like maybe this is just it. Like maybe nobody's interested. And I have learned over and over that business picks up when God wants it to pick up. And it's always for a reason, And so those are the types of things I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk about that a lot in the restaurant, of like when it's slow, we've learned to be thankful for those times, because typically that's a ramp up period to another crazy time. And so, what we do in those slow times, I think is kind of vital. So have you learned to rest in those periods, to dream a little bit, deeper, cause that's what happens is when we get busy, like there's no time for those kinds of things. And so it took us many years as well, but it's just like, okay, now we're like, okay, we've got some breathing room here.
Yes.
What are those things that we can do in between?
I get really intentional with my family in slow times, like super intensely intentional. And I'm not the kind of parent that's just, that micromanages my kids.
No.
We live kind of out. They can go roam and do the things. But when I'm slow, like I just pack them up in the pickup and we go see friends. We go on a trip. I get intentional in those slow times. And in doing that, my creativity skyrockets.
Yeah.
And I get back and I'm ready to just start sketching and dreaming. And so, when it's slow.
Do you think, I find that change of pace and that sense of adventure also stimulates my creativity, because you're seeing new things, new shapes, new colors. You're in a restaurant and or you're in a shop and you're like, oh, I love how they're doing that.
Yes.
What if I took that and then paired it with this? And, I think so many people get kind of stuck in their own four walls, which, I mean, we're all a little stuck in our own four walls right now. But, finding a way to explore out of your space, even if it's it's a coffee shop that's on the other side of town.
That's the deal.
Switch up your space. I think your mind gets used to being in a space and it gets confined by that.
Well, not just in your four walls, but on your Facebook feed and on your YouTube, whatever you're doing. And, search something new and be aware. Look around and see what's around. And I mean, I see people all the time that are so different, like style wise, they're so different. And the me 15, 20 years ago, high school me 20 years ago would have been like, oh, I don't know about that. But me now is like, wow, what does that girl got cooking? Like, what's going on? What is she doing? This is cool. How can I throw that in what I'm doing, whether it be a personal style or with business,
Yes.
Or even dudes. I'm sure I have skeeved out a number of dudes because I'm looking at their shoes or I'm checking out like what's going on with their belts. And I'm now looking. I'm not even trying to hide.
That's a leather girl for you. She makes cool things out of leather. So she's always looking at those textures. I love this. Oh my gosh, Randi, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on with us today. And thank you so much for sharing about your joy, goodness, and growth. Can you tell everybody really quickly how they can see what you're doing, follow you, buy your lovely things? I think even those earrings are for sale, right?
They're on the website.
A version of those on your website too. So tell them all the things.
Okay. So I have the website. It's indigolane.com, and Lane is Laine. I'm on Instagram at indigo.lane.co. And Facebook, I think it's just Indigo Lane and Co. And I think that's it, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
I think so.
And give them just like a smattering of the kind of things that they will find there.
Okay. So on Instagram, you're going to see product. You're going to see my travels. You're going to maybe see my kids, for sure see my pets.
Oh yeah.
You'll see in my stories, I share people's feeds that I love. Mm-hmm. I will share other things that I'm doing or whatever, but just life.
Right. Well, but on your website, what kind of things can they buy on your website?
Leather totes, dreamy leather totes.
Dreamy, like yummy, like want to like pet them the best, like
and they smell like
what would you almost call them? Like legacy, like a piece that you will, like she said, like your kids will find it in your closet someday when you're gone, and they'll be like, Mom was so cool. This thing is this thing will last for generations upon generations. Yet there's still like this little bit of trendy thing about them as well. Like, I mean, there's style to them too. I mean,
clean lines,
super simple,
clean lines.
Really pretty.
It's minimal. It's not flashy. It's just minimal, and carry your stuff and last forever. Lifetime warranty on anything. If anything ever happens, just send it back. I'll fix it and send it back to you. But just leather purses, crossbodies, fanny packs, all the things.
And it's not like there's this, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're looking at the girl who's making it.
It's me.
Which you know what, knowing the maker makes everything even better. And she said she makes friends with everyone. So if you're looking for a friend, buy a tote.
True story. Tell me about your kids and your pets.
Everybody wants to be friends with her. So I love it. Thank you everybody for coming and listening or watching today on YouTube. My hope is that when she shared about the joy, goodness, and growth in her life, that you started to uncover and dig out some of those things that are in your life as well, and recognize them, because it's there. Doesn't matter whether there's storms or whether this is a season of growth or rest for you. There is joy, goodness, and growth all around you. You just have to open your eyes to see it. So my hope is they're open just a little bit wider today. So that's it, everybody. Don't forget to follow Randi. Don't worry, all those things are going to be at the end. You can click on them. And until next time, y'all, blessings and blooms. Thanks, Randi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Friends, I had so much fun talking with Randi today. She is such a bright light, and I know she inspired so many today with her words of encouragement and truth. If you want to learn more about Randi, check out her website, indigolane.com. That's INDIGO Lane, spelled LAINE.com. And take a minute and go like and follow her on social media as Indigo Lane & Co. And you don't want to miss our next episode of The Well-Tended Life as I interview Deanna Salas-Freeman. She's a speaker, writer, life and health coach, and we talk about the power of meditation and mindfulness. So make sure to follow The Well-Tended Life on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe today to our podcast and YouTube channels by the same name. And until next time, y'all, blessings and blooms.